Today is Monday, September 1st, 2025, and welcome to your daily news update on Blip Brief, small but almost everything updated daily. We're diving straight in today, looking at what's shaping the markets and the world around you as the week kicks off. Okay, let's unpack this. Markets are just getting going after the weekend. What are the early pre-open cues telling us, particularly for India?
Well, we're definitely seeing a bit of a mixed bag this morning. The GIF Nifty is actually up, which usually, points towards a positive start for Indian stocks today.
Okay, that sounds promising.
It does, but then you look broader across Asia, and Japan's Nikkei is trading lower. And remember, last Friday, both the Nifty 50 and the BSE Sensex closed down slightly, about mid at 0.3%.
Ah, right. So maybe some caution carrying over.
Exactly. While GIF Nifty offers some hope, that broader Asian dip suggests maybe a bit of underlying hesitancy globally.
And what was behind that dip on Friday? What was weighing on sentiment then?
A really big factor was the foreign portfolio investor outflows FPIs in August. They hit a 7-month high. We're talking $4 billion pulled out.
$4 billion. Wow.
Yeah, significant money leaving Indian markets. And you couple that with the ongoing uncertainty about potential U.S. tariffs, plus a weakening rupee. It created a pretty cautious mood.
The rupee hit a record low, didn't it?
It did, though an FE poll suggests it might stabilize around 88 to 88.50. There's an expectation the RBI will step in.
Okay. Intervention expected. So, with FPIs pulling back and the rupee shaky, what should you, our listener, be watching in terms of individual stocks today?
Well, analysts are definitely flagging Nifty's critical support levels. Things could get a bit volatile. Key stocks on the radar today would include ITC and DLF.
ITC had a good run last week, right?
It did, up about 2.2%, shows good domestic strength. But on the flip side, Friday saw Mahindra and Reliance Industries among the top losers, both down over 2%.
M&M down nearly 3%.
Ouch.
Yeah, reacting to various factors. And keep an eye on Tata Steel, ONGC, BHEL too. They're sensitive to economic news.
Right. Let's zoom out a bit. The big picture for India, we got those Q1 GDP numbers recently. 7.8%, a 5-quarter high. Sounds fantastic on the surface. It does sound great, and it beat expectations. But you mentioned those startling contradictions.
Exactly. What's beneath that headline number?
Well, the contradiction lies in sort of the quality and sustainability of that growth. A lot of it was driven by the services sector, which was really robust.
Right.
But manufacturing, agriculture, they weren't quite keeping pace. That creates a kind of uneven picture. And thinking bigger, those potential U.S. tariffs, they could really hit export-focused sectors hard, potentially impacting the outlook for FY26, even with the CEA sticking to that 6.3, 6.8% forecast.
So it's more nuanced than just the big 7.8%.
Definitely. The quality and vulnerability matter.
Got it. And speaking of domestic factors, the GST system is getting a major overhaul. Simpler structure, but it sounds like it's causing some nervousness.
It is. The plan is basically a 2-slab structure, 5% and 18%, getting rid of the 12% and 28% bans for most things.
Simpler sounds good.
Generally, yes. But they're also adding a special 40% rate for luxury and sin goods. And this whole shift is making some states quite cautious.
Why is that? Revenue concerns.
Exactly. They're worried about losing revenue in the short term and are asking the center for compensation. The center believes higher consumption from simpler rates will eventually make up for it.
Bit of a gamble there.
It's a calculated one.
Yeah.
But for businesses, consumer firms, retailers, this uncertainty about when this happens and which goods fall where, it's tough.
Especially with the festive season coming up, right?
Yeah.
Affects planning.
Absolutely. Inventory, pricing. It's all up in the air for them right now.
Okay, let's shift to the corporate world. Banking seems dominated by HDFC Bank and ICICI Bank lately. What's their secret sauce?
They've really been outperforming the Nifty Bank Index. Both had strong Q1 results that beat expectations.
What's driving that?
For HDFC Bank, it's consistently excellent asset quality, really solid. ICICI Bank, meanwhile, has shown really good improvement in its net NPA ratio.
Net NTA. So they're getting better at handling bad loans.
Precisely. Cleaning up the books, managing credit risk effectively, that gives investors a lot of confidence, Brokerages favor them for more growth.
Makes sense. Beyond those two giants, any other corporate stories catching your eye?
Well, Aditya Birla Fashion is making an interesting move, focusing more on profitability now, maybe less on just aggressive expansion. That's a shift.
A sign of maturing, perhaps?
Could be. And there's still quite a bit of buzz around Paytm's turnaround. Their latest numbers suggest they might be finding a path to sustainable growth.
Good for them. Anything else?
Yeah, this is interesting. Mutual fund cash holdings crossed Rs 4 lakh crore in July.
4 lakh crore.
Yeah.
Just sitting there.
Pretty much. It signals a huge amount of liquidity, basically cash waiting on the sidelines, ready to potentially flow back into the market.
Wow. Speaking of potential market movers, the Geo listing. That's generating enormous buzz.
Oh, absolutely. This is probably the most anticipated listing. Reliance Geo, expected by H1 2026, and the estimated valuation. A staggering $154 billion.
$154 billion.
That's huge. It's massive. Analysts are calling it a jackpot, a game changer, because it's not just telco anymore, right? It's this whole digital ecosystem.
True, and it's not the only big IPO coming.
No, we've got Tata Capital, LG, OYO in the pipeline, and Grow, the fintech, just got SEBI approval for a pretty big listing too, maybe $700 million to $1 billion.
So lots for investors to look forward to. Now, switching gears slightly, a great win for an Indian startup.
Yes, Urban Company. They were named Startup of the Year at the Economic Times Startup Awards. Really cements their position.
What makes them stand out?
Well, they've not only scaled up massively in a tough consumer internet space, but they've also achieved profitability. That's the key combination, sustainable growth.
Great to see. Okay, let's move to the global stage. PM Modi was busy at the SKO summit over the weekend. What were the key takeaways?
He made some quite pointed remarks in Tianjin, emphasized strategic autonomy for both India and China, said relations shouldn't be seen through a third country lens.
A signal amidst global tensions.
A subtle but clear one, yes. He also met President Xi Jinping, and they reaffirmed being development partners, not rivals, trying to stabilize things.
And he met Putin, too.
Yes, against the backdrop of all this U.S. tariff pressure. It really highlights India's ongoing geopolitical balancing act.
Speaking of those tariffs, Trump's 50% pressure. That sounds intense. How's India coping?
It's definitely biting. These tariffs hit on August 27th. We're seeing Indian exporters, rice, tractors, gems, jewelry, actively looking for markets beyond the U.S. now.
Diversifying out of necessity.
Exactly. Some industries like mentha, oil, and gems are calling it a major crisis. But here's a twist.
Oh.
A U.S. appeals court actually ruled 7-4 that most of Trump's broad tariffs exceeded his authority.
Really? So they might be overturned?
Well, enforcement is paused until October 14th for appeals, so it adds legal uncertainty. Trump, meanwhile, doubled down, saying tariffs are essential to prevent the country being destroyed, so the fight continues.
Fascinating. And another big global shift, something about gold and central banks.
Yes, this is quite significant. For the first time in 30 years, central banks globally now hold more gold than U.S. treasuries in their reserves.
More gold than U.S. debt. Why the change?
It's basically a major diversification push. Moving away from over-reliance on the U.S. dollar, India's RBI, for example, has upped its gold holdings relative to treasuries.
So, hedging bets, bolstering reserves.
Exactly. It's a global trend to enhance stability, hedge against currency swings, a subtle recalibration of financial power, you could say.
Any other major global headlines we should touch on?
Sadly, a strong magnitude 6.3 earthquake hit Afghanistan on Sunday. Humanitarian concerns there.
Right.
And geopolitically, Armenia is seeking diplomatic ties with Pakistan. That's a historic shift, could change dynamics for India in that region.
Interesting. And in the U.S.?
A federal judge blocked a Trump administration's move to deport Guatemalan children. And Trump announced plans for an executive order on voter ID for all ballots. So more policy battles brewing there.
Okay, bringing it back home and thinking about personal finance. I've seen this term EMI retirement popping up. Sounds worrying. What is it?
It is worrying. EMI retirement essentially means you reach retirement age, but you're still paying off significant debts. Home loans, car loans, maybe credit cards.
So your pension is just going straight out again.
Exactly. Instead of financial freedom, a big chunk of your income is tied up in monthly payments. It creates huge stress and really impacts stability.
Why is this happening more now?
It seems to be a mix of things. Longer working lives maybe mask the issue. People delay planning. Cost of living is up, sometimes supporting kids longer. It all adds up.
That's a tough reality. So how can you, our listener, avoid falling into this trap? What are the key things to do?
Well, experts point out common mistakes, like locking too much money in low-return annuities or maybe being too scared of equities. You need some growth, you know?
Right, equities for long-term growth. What else?
Definitely robust medical insurance. Healthcare costs in retirement can be huge. Good estate planning. And the big one, Make it a priority to clear all major debts before you retire.
Clear the decks completely.
Ideally, yes. And another tip is dynamic withdrawals. Instead of taking out a fixed amount each year, adjust your spending based on how your investments are doing. Less in down years, maybe.
Protects you from bad market timing at the start of retirement.
Exactly. It tackles that sequence of return risk. More flexible planning.
Very practical advice. Okay, let's quickly cover some key national happenings. Weather's been severe in the Northwest.
Extremely. Heavy to very heavy rain expected today again. Red alerts in Himachal, MP, UP, IMD is forecasting above normal rain for September overall.
That'll impact.
Widespread destruction, sadly. Himachal has over 800 roads closed, including national highways. Though there was good news, 19 workers trapped in tunnels in Uttarakhand were safely rescued yesterday.
That's a relief. And a more positive story from Kashmir.
A really heartwarming one. Kashmiri Pandits reopened the Sharada Pawani temple in Budgam after nearly 35 years.
Wow, 35 years.
And what's really special is the local Muslim community actively participated, helped with preparations, a great symbol of harmony.
Wonderful to hear.
Yeah.
And a call to action from the PM.
Yes, PM Modi appealed for people to use Swadeshi made-in-India products this festive season to boost local industry and pride in homegrown goods.
Right. Now let's end on something potentially life-changing.
Yeah.
A real breakthrough in science.
This is genuinely remarkable. Scientists at the University of Minnesota, they've managed to get rats walking again after severe spinal cord injuries.
Walking again. How?
Using 3D printing. They developed a special 3D printed scaffold. This scaffold guides stem cells to grow into working nerve cells, basically bridging the gap in the severed spinal cord.
That sounds incredible.
It is. It actually directed the cells correctly and restored movement in the rats. It's still preclinical, of course, but the hope this offers for human spinal cord injuries is just immense.
Truly amazing potential, merging biology and advanced manufacturing.
Exactly, solving incredibly complex medical problems.
As we wrap up this deep dive, here's something to think about. How do these seemingly separate events, from monsoons in Himachal to tariff debates in D.C., from GST changes to breakthroughs in a Minnesota lab, all connect? How do these ripples affect your investments, your business, and maybe even the future of health itself? Thank you for joining us for this daily news update on Blip, brought to you by The Deep Dive. Remember to stay informed and critically evaluate the information around you. This commentary is AI generated, and we encourage you to re-verify the content before use.